So I was thinking, and I'm not married to it, but Bob's Bagels.
Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to MsMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 underrated Schitt's Creek characters.
This isn't Say Yes to the Dress, Princess.
The Under the Sea theme is only available during winter months.
Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay.
For this list, we're looking at the characters from this hit comedy that don't always get the attention they deserve. We will not be including anyone from the Rose family, but everyone else is being considered. So, which character on this show would you most like to hang out with? Let us know in the comments. All right, let's get to it. Number 10, Mutt Schitt.
Speaking of unfit homes, why do you live in a barn?
What's wrong with living in a barn?
Mutt was essentially the town's dark horse. In effect, much of his initial appeal lay in how enigmatic he was, especially in comparison with the other townsfolk the Roses crossed paths with. Who could have guessed that Roland and Jocelyn of all people would be his parents? Mutt was always a pretty simple guy, a man who loved adventure and life's little things. And while his relationship with Alexis ultimately wasn't meant to last, the two did help each other grow up.
This is so special for me.
Well, I thought you needed a new mode of transportation.
I do.
One thing is for sure, with or without his beard, Mutt Schitt brought some valuable rustic edge to Schitt's Creek during his time there.
Mutt, why did you do that extra community service?
You know why?
Why can't you just say it?
Number 9, Bob Curry.
Oh, jeez. To be a fly on the wall for this conversation.
Bob, you're in the room.
Bob was the owner of the garage that bore his name, but he was also so much more than that. A staple of the town, Bob was kind and always eager to assist Johnny in any way he could. Let's not forget he gave him office space. Sure, sometimes his actions were slightly misguided. Who could forget the bagel place plan?
You know, Johnny, I think you're really onto something with this bagel idea.
Or when he asked Johnny to speak at his brother's funeral despite their lack of a relationship.
I was just wondering if maybe you could say a few words at the funeral.
But his intentions were always pure, and that was a huge part of his charm. Despite what Gwen seemed to think, we will always hold a special place for Bob and his jog in our hearts.
Isn't she a beaut?
Number 8, Ray Butani.
Are you Ray?
Yes.
You're late. Johnny Rose, my wife Moira.
Hi.
Ray was always a welcome and funny addition to the streets of Schitt's Creek. He may not have been in as many episodes as other characters, but his appearances were always noteworthy.
That's me in front of a volcano.
Yeah.
In the jungle. In outer space. That's another volcano.
As the town's multi-talented businessman, he had a hand in everything from real estate to photography to the Christmas tree market.
Oh, hi, Mr. Rose. What you're smelling is actually our holiday-scented car ornaments.
And there was no job Ray Butani couldn't do with the help of his signature attitude and humor, even if it came at the expense of other people's wallets or feelings. Honestly, how would anybody have survived without Ray? We are glad we never had to find out. Number 7, Ronnie Lee.
So, what's your deal? You're pretty. What's that like?
Ronnie was a no-nonsense woman who spoke her mind and had very little patience for shenanigans.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Her personality against Moira's flamboyant one made for a pretty entertaining dynamic and friendship between the two, especially during Jazzagal's rehearsals and town council meetings.
No, I'm not gonna be the one to tell her.
Tell me what?
No, it's not about you, Moira.
Ronnie never minced words, and the moments she was part of were always better because of it. Her blunt and honest attitude meant that what you saw was what you got.
You ever killed before?
Have I ever killed before? No.
More often than not, that involved a hilarious and astute comment aimed at the Roses or Patrick that cracked us all up.
Wait, David, your sub? I thought you told me that your team was stacked.
Good to see you too, Ronnie.
It goes without saying, but it was practically impossible not to love her. Number 6, Ted Mullins.
The good thing is, I don't think that you need an ambulance, David, because what I think is happening here is you're having a panic attack.
Ted started out as a character that many fans didn't pay much attention to. But that was a big mistake. His character development was slow and steady, but extremely significant. Without fully realizing it, everyone, including Alexis, fell in love with Ted Mullins. It became harder and harder to picture Schitt's Creek without him in it, though we all understood why he ultimately had to leave. Between his love of animals, his work in conservation, and his sweet and understanding nature, Ted was the whole package and then some. What more could you possibly ask for in a human being?
And when you get on that plane tomorrow, I want you to know how grateful I am to have met you.
I don't think I'm ever going to meet another woman who made me feel the way that you do.
Number 5. Roland Schitt.
Roland, listen, thank you very much, but appreciate everything you've done. We need a little private time now, as a family.
Sure. Well, actually, those curtains do close there, so.
While Roland was a comical clown-like character, there was a lot more to him than just laughs. Sure, he often accidentally messed things up, but his heart was certainly always in the right place.
Let me enlighten you, Mr. Johnny Rose. That isn't even Horace's wife. That's his sister.
Even though Johnny and Roland were essentially polar opposites, the mayor of Schitt's Creek never let that get in his way. While they hilariously butted heads on more than one occasion, there was nothing Roland wouldn't do for the Rose family.
Okay, I understand, all right? Okay. I just think it's awfully short notice to start planning a fundraiser.
He went from being the quirky mayor to one of Johnny's business partners and best friends. Needless to say, we all grew pretty fond of him in the process. Number 4. Patrick Brewer.
And now, here he is. The love of my life. Standing in front of me. And this just felt like the perfect place to ask you to marry me.
The beautiful relationship that bloomed between David and Patrick is beloved by fans of the show, and for good reason. But the latter character sometimes doesn't get the credit he deserves as an individual. In effect, he went through a tremendous amount of personal growth during his time in Schitt's Creek, learning to embrace himself and coming out to his parents.
David is my boyfriend. And I've never been happier in my life. And so I hope you guys can accept that.
Not to mention, he was always an incredibly loving and compassionate person in all aspects of his life. The fact that he was an amazingly talented musician with the voice of an angel was really just a bonus. In other words, Patrick was simply the best.
Better than anyone I've ever met. Oh, you're the best.
Number 3. Stevie Budd.
Good people do things like that. Hence the reason why we don't understand it.
Stevie started off as the sarcastic front desk worker at the motel, and her pivotal importance quickly became apparent. Before we knew it, she and David became the best of friends, and she was part of the family. A self-sufficient, intelligent, and bold woman, Stevie really found her footing and place in the world as the seasons progressed. She faced her fears head-on, and it paid off big time. Her electric performance as Sally Bowles in Cabaret and her business partnership with Johnny are just a few examples of how.
So if you really think you can make something out of franchising this motel, I think I want to be part of it.
You think?
I want to be part of it.
Stevie Budd always landed on her feet, and we were always in awe of her. Number 2. Jocelyn Schitt.
You have a really lovely home. It's really, understated.
Thank you. I get a lot of my ideas from magazines.
Jocelyn was always a warm, funny, and dependable presence in the town we all know and love, and her quirkiness just added to how lovable she was. Importantly, Schitt's Creek was near and dear to her heart, and she cared deeply for all of its residents. She was a teacher, after all. While she educated the next generation, Jocelyn also led the Jazzagals and made sure numerous town events were a success. Not to mention, she was truly a wonderful mother and friend.
We all have fears as parents, Moira. But at some point, we just have to believe in our kids.
Jocelyn undoubtedly did everything in her power to make the world around her better, while being honest about the challenges she faced. That's an icon if we've ever seen one.
Yes, Jocelyn. What advice did I impart that translated into this daring new coiffure?
But I can still rock on! Your chips bought this!
What I like most about Jocelyn is that she really knows how to deal with Moira. She's very shrewd. And she's not just some stereotype. I really appreciate that. But I will say this about our number one pick. She is not a member of the Rose family, but she is a member of a family that is important to Schitt's Creek. That's very cagey of me, but let's look through some honorable mentions and then we will name our top most underrated Schitt's Creek character. Wendy Kurtz. David's former boss was always up to something new.
Here's the issue. It seems as though you have trouble filtering negative thoughts. So, I don't know if I can trust you to represent the Blouse Barn.
Clifton Sparks. Victor Garber brought Moira's Sunrise Bay co-star to life flawlessly.
Room for one more.
Mommy, grab a chair. I hope you don't mind, we decided to get a head start on the celebration.
Tippy Bernstein. Meet the executive producer of Sunrise Bay.
I mean, I figured time stood still in this town, but look at you. You are just as gorgeous as the day I discovered you.
Oh, Tippy. You're as alive as ever.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Twyla Sands.
Hi, I'm Twyla. I'll be your waitress today. Anyway, I read about you guys and everything you've gone through. It sounds super crappy.
Twyla Sands was a calm, steady, and grounded force throughout the seasons. The way she hid her millionaire status until the very end was a testament to her character.
Why did you not tell me this before?
Well, because you guys had just gotten here and you had just lost all your money. What was I gonna say? I just won $92 million?
You won $92 million?
In many ways, she was the town's moral compass. While the Roses went to Café Tropical to eat, they often left having gained a lot more than a full stomach thanks to her. It's how her friendship with Alexis turned into such a special one.
It's gonna be a good year, Alexis. You're on the right path.
Everyone could count on Twyla no matter what because she was always there to listen without judgment. Her advice and the hilariously disturbing stories that went along with it were priceless. There's only one thing left to do. Give her a spin-off show.
I bought the cafe. What? I called the owners and told them to name their price.
By the way, the family that is important to Schitt's Creek that isn't the Roses is, of course, the Levy family because Twyla is played by Sarah Levy. There you go. Anyway, as for the end of Twyla's story, great twist ending. I love that they made her a millionaire and that she got a very happy ending and that she's just happy because she deserves everything in the world, don't you think? Anyway, be sure to let us know in the comments who you think is the most underrated character on Schitt's Creek. Or come tell me on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton or on my YouTube channel. See ya. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.